Let me ask you, what kinds of businesses have you been involved in prior to merch? Because I mean, I think by reading some of your posts, I can see that you've innovated in a lot of different ways in the past. Just from reading your posts, I can tell there's a lot of thought that goes into not only your writing, but your actual merch business. So I would love to hear a little bit about some of the past businesses you've been involved in.
Well, after college, I graduated in December of '05 from Valparaiso University. I got my degree in political science. Within a couple of years, I was helping a gentleman named Tom Grisafi, who is a veteran commodities trader at the Board of Trade in Chicago. He started a company called Indiana Grain Company, and it was basically a small proprietary trading firm for guys that trade commodities.
Okay.
Now the pits where all the commodities used to be traded in Chicago, it's all on the screen now. Everything has gone electronic. But back in '07, '08, when we were getting started with Indiana Grain Company, that transition from the floor to the screen was really just accelerating. And social media and its application within the financial world was very nascent. And so Tom called on me to bring some communications experience to the start of his business. And so I was involved with him in starting the company, getting the word out about it, leveraging emerging social channels to help educate other traders and market professionals and commodity stocks across the broad spectrum, understand their business better, to understand markets better, to communicate with like-minded professionals better. And so I did that with him for about 4 or 5 years. And we got to a point where we were regularly in, the Wall Street Journal and in different media outlets. And it was quite a journey for me. And I learned a great deal. That was something that took an enormous amount of my time. Along the way, I was also working with, on the side, other business professionals that were starting media companies or online ventures at a time when what we're doing right now was still kind of unorthodox. You would explain to someone, well, what do you mean you're doing a web interview or a streaming show? That was totally foreign to them. Now everyone's like, why aren't you doing a streaming show? But no, my primary ventures have been related to business, to social media, to marketing and communications.
That's awesome. And so have you been in any online businesses prior to this?
I haven't started an online business where I've actually sold anything. My experience primarily speaks to the communications end of things and developing a concept for a business and putting it out there.
Well, that's interesting because that explains to me a little bit more about how, when I read your posts, they're so well written and so well thought out.
Thank you.
It's another level above your average, internet marketing type of person or somebody who's been in the online world. Not to say that people in the online world aren't smart or aren't thoughtful or can't, string some sentences together nicely, but I just see a different level of thought and really a level of detail that I think is really awesome to see, especially coming into the merch world. And I think a lot of people appreciate it because it's one of the reasons, you've been very polite to ask, would you mind if I post this post in your group? And I was like, yes, all the time, because it's so well written and people love your content and they can't seem to get enough of it. So there's a really good example of adding a lot of value to a community and making that be your calling card, if you will.
Well, that's kind of you to say. That's kind of you to say. I think it's important though, because a lot of people ask me for guidance on marketing, how they can, run Facebook ad campaigns and social media campaigns and things like that. That is not something I'm actually very familiar with, or I'm any label that puts on me an internet marketer. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to actual internet marketers because they know their craft. They know their thing. My bag of tricks is pretty much it's on the communication side of things. So I feel like I enjoy articulating ideas and I enjoy introducing people to concepts through the power of the written and the spoken word. But when I look at what people across the internet marketing community are capable of doing, I'm in awe of them because I know I can't do that.
Yeah. That's great. And it's one of the great things about merch is it is such a broad mass appeal opportunity, but it's also simple enough that anyone can make money at it. And because most of the stuff's done for you. I mean, if you have a massive source of traffic, which is what Amazon has, and then you have your product creation, manufacturing, and fulfillment and customer service all taken care of for you, man, there's only a couple moving pieces left. And if you master that, you're making money. You know, you're building a business.